This break from Rome was a pivotal moment in English history. It led to the English Reformation, the dissolution of the monasteries and the seizure of church lands, greatly enriching the crown. Henry VIII. The name conjures up images of power, passion, and, let's be honest, a few too many wives. He's the king everyone knows, even if it's just for his love life. But there was much more to this Tudor monarch than meets the eye. Henry was a man of contradictions. He could be charming and ruthless, devout and ruthless, a lover of the arts and a warrior king. He craved love and admiration, yet he ruled with an iron fist. His reign was a time of great change and upheaval, a whirlwind of drama, intrigue, and, dare we say, entertainment. He broke from the Catholic Church, beheaded 2 of his wives, and turned England into a Protestant nation. So buckle up as we delve into the tumultuous, scandalous, and utterly captivating life of King Henry VIII, a man who continues to fascinate and divide us centuries after his reign. Let's just say, they don't make kings like Henry anymore. Born in 1491, Henry was the second son of King Henry VII and Elizabeth of York. He wasn't actually meant to be king. That honor was supposed to go to his older brother Arthur. Young Henry was a charmer, athletic, and a bit of a heartbreaker. He excelled in sports, music, and dancing. He was also a devout Catholic, at least in the beginning. But fate had other plans. Arthur died suddenly, leaving the throne to Henry. This unexpected turn of events would shape Henry's destiny and the future of England. In 1509, at the age of 17, Henry VIII ascended the throne. He was young, handsome, and full of ambition. Little did England know what was in store. Henry VIII's love life is the stuff of legends. He was married 6 times, and let's just say things didn't always end well. His relentless pursuit of a male heir and his insatiable desire for love and companionship led to some of the most dramatic chapters in English history. First came Catherine of Aragon, a Spanish princess and Arthur's widow. They had a daughter, Mary, but Henry craved a son. When Catherine failed to produce a male heir, Henry sought an annulment. This set off a chain reaction that would change England forever. Enter Anne Boleyn, a woman who captured Henry's heart and became his second wife. Anne was intelligent, ambitious, and, unlike Catherine, refused to be cast aside. Their tumultuous relationship led to the break from Rome and the establishment of the Church of England. But Anne's triumph was short-lived. She too failed to produce a son, and Henry, never one to be denied, accused her of treason and had her beheaded. Next up was Jane Seymour, a quiet and gentle woman who finally gave Henry his longed-for son, Edward. Sadly, Jane died shortly after childbirth. Henry's desire for a divorce from Catherine of Aragon wasn't just about love or even heirs, it was about power. The Pope's refusal to grant the annulment challenged Henry's authority and led him to take a drastic step. In a bold move that shocked Europe, Henry declared himself the supreme head of the Church of England in 1534. No longer would a foreign power dictate matters of faith or, more importantly, the king's love life. This break from Rome was a pivotal moment in English history. It led to the English Reformation, the dissolution of the monasteries and the seizure of church lands, greatly enriching the crown. England was now a Protestant nation, and Henry was in control, both in matters of state and religion. The king's great matter, as it was known, had forever altered the religious landscape of England. Section 5, Defender of the Faith or not? Despite breaking from Rome, Henry VIII wasn't exactly a Protestant reformer in the mold of Martin Luther. He remained deeply conservative in his religious beliefs and saw himself as a defender of traditional Catholic doctrines. He persecuted Protestants who challenged his authority and clung to many Catholic practices. It was a confusing time for the English people, caught between the old faith and the new. Henry's religious policies were often contradictory and driven as much by political expediency as by theological conviction. He swung between reform and repression, leaving a legacy of religious ambiguity. One thing was clear. Henry was determined to be master in his own house, whether that meant defying the Pope, dissolving monasteries, or burning heretics at the stake. His reign was a time of religious turmoil as England navigated its way through the upheaval of the Reformation. Section 6. A King's Will, Power Plays and Political Intrigue. Henry VIII was a master politician, adept at manipulating the levers of power to achieve his goals. He was ruthless in eliminating rivals and consolidating his authority. He surrounded himself with capable advisors, but he was always the one in charge. His court was a hotbed of intrigue, where ambition and treachery were constant companions. One of his most trusted advisors, Thomas Cromwell, played a key role in the break from Rome and the dissolution of the monasteries. But even Cromwell fell from grace and was executed on trumped-up charges of treason. Henry's reign was marked by a constant struggle for power, both at home and abroad. He was determined to make England a major player on the European stage, and he wasn't afraid to use force to get his way. Section 7. War and Peace. Henry's military exploits. Henry VIII fancied himself a warrior king, and he wasn't shy about flexing England's military muscle. He engaged in wars with France and Scotland, seeking glory and territorial expansion. He poured vast sums of money into building up the English navy, recognizing the importance of sea power. He also modernized the army, introducing new weapons and tactics. While Henry achieved some military successes, his wars were costly and ultimately did little to enhance England's standing in Europe. They did, however, drain the royal treasury and contribute to the growing unrest in the kingdom. Despite his martial ambitions, Henry's reign also saw periods of peace and stability. He was a shrewd diplomat when it suited his purposes, and he understood the importance of alliances in the complex game of European politics. Section 8. Legacy of a King, the Impact of Henry VIII. Henry VIII left an indelible mark on England. He transformed the religious landscape, broke from Rome, and established the Church of England. His reign was a time of great change, upheaval, and both progress and tyranny. He strengthened the monarchy, centralized power, and laid the foundations for a modern nation-state. He also left behind a legacy of religious division and political instability that would plague England for generations to come. His 6 wives and their fates continue to fascinate and appall us. He remains a subject of endless debate and speculation, a larger-than-life figure who embodies both the best and worst of monarchy, love him or hate him. There's no denying that Henry VIII was one of the most consequential monarchs in English history. Section 9. A King for the Ages, Henry VIII in popular culture. Henry VIII's story continues to captivate us centuries after his death. He's been the subject of countless books, plays, films and television shows, each generation reinterpreting his life and legacy. From Shakespeare's play to Showtime's racy series The Tudors, Henry's love life, his wives and his tyrannical reign continue to provide endless fodder for entertainment. He's become a pop culture icon, a symbol of both royal power and insatiable appetites. Whether portrayed as a romantic hero, a ruthless tyrant, or a bumbling buffoon, Henry VIII remains a figure of endless fascination. He's a reminder that history is anything but boring, especially when it involves kings, queens, and a healthy dose of royal scandal.